You think you are clicking buy now on a $10 phone charger. You aren't, you are actually funding a $300 billion shadow cartel. This system legally forces you to pay ocean freight prices to ship premium. Bubble-wrapped air, today we are tearing apart the corrugated matrix. I am going to show you how your beloved free delivery is a psychological hallucination. Your eco-friendly recycling bin, a mechanical death spiral. And I will expose the terrifying reason why a damp piece of folded brown paper has total control over your financial survival. Welcome to the machine. You look at your smartphone and you hallucinate a digital economy. You think the cloud runs the world. You think software billionaires are the apex predators of global trade. You are entirely wrong. The digital matrix is a lie. It is nothing but a fragile user interface layered over a massive, damp piece of corrugated fluting. Yes, cardboard, the most boring material on Earth, secretly owns your life. 95% of all manufactured goods on this planet are shipped in a corrugated box. Let that sink into your mind, 95%. If the internet goes down, you just lose your mindless entertainment. But if the cardboard supply chain halts, global trade hits a concrete wall by Tuesday morning. Trillions of dollars of physical inventory instantly paralyzed in a massive gridlock. Without the fluted medium, that wavy little piece of paper trapped between two flat liners, your modern civilization devolves into medieval bartering. You don't have a logistics network. You have an avalanche of unprotected consumer trash. Your goods are sitting in warehouses, shivering without their brown paper armor. And the people who control that armor, they own you. We are talking about a $300 billion shadow cartel. A handful of massive global conglomerates that hold the entire e-commerce sector hostage. You are terrified of inflation. You are worried about the stock market crash. You should be watching the spot price of old corrugated containers. Because when that number shifts, your business profit margins evaporate into a total abyss. Small businesses operate on razor-thin margins. You think you are a smart entrepreneur. You think your branding is unique. Packaging costs will effortlessly eat 5 to 10% of your gross revenue before you even make a single sale. Your custom pink branded shipping box is not marketing. It is a financial black hole. You are willingly shoveling your hard-earned cash directly into the boiler room of the cardboard monopoly. And the barrier to entry, it is an absolute abyss. You think you can disrupt the industry. You think you can build a better box and bypass the cartel. Let me introduce you to the titanium wall. Building a modern, competitive craft paper mill costs upwards of $1.5 to $3 billion. Billion with a B. That is not a startup cost. That is a financial incinerator that completely vaporizes anyone naive enough to step inside. You cannot code your way out of a physical resource monopoly. The supply chain of corrugated medium is a closed-loop fortress. They own the massive mills, they own the endless, sterile monoculture pine forests. Mother Nature has been fired. The forest is now a strictly managed corporate assembly line. And you are just the final stop on the conveyor belt, quietly paying the invisible tax every day. And what happens when this perfectly calibrated machine experiences a single hiccup? A pulp shortage, a factory strike. The entire system faces a catastrophic implosion. It is a domino gridlock. Your favorite tech CEOs are completely powerless. They can calculate the trajectory to Mars, but they cannot ship you a toothbrush without begging the cartel for permission to use their folded paper. You are not a consumer, you are a hostage. Every time you order a cheap plastic gadget, you are subsidizing this mechanical beast. You think free shipping is a gift. Free shipping is a psychological mirage. You just smile while handing the corporation your wallet. They bake a 15 to 20% logistics buffer directly into the base price of the product. You are prepaying for the box, the tape, and the gasoline. Your ignorance is their ultimate business model. You are funding the very machine that is crushing the global economy under a mountain of brown pulp. The entire modern retail experience is a highly engineered theater designed to distract you. You are buying trash wrapped in trash delivered by a cartel of trash. And you are paying a premium for it. You think surrendering your entire economy to 5 guys in suits selling tree sap is a nightmare. You think watching your business margins evaporate into a corrugated abyss is the worst thing happening to your money. Just wait, because it gets so much worse. Just wait until you see how the world's most advanced artificial intelligence is actively vaporizing your wealth. I am talking about an algorithmic disaster that ships millions of cubic meters of absolute nothingness across the ocean, charging you for every single inch of empty space. The incinerator is hungry and you are on the menu. Welcome back to the disaster. Your break-even point is currently orbiting another galaxy, and the algorithm is just getting started on your wallet. You worship at the altar of artificial intelligence. You actually believe that Silicon Valley supercomputers are playing a flawless game of four-dimensional logistics chess. You are completely delusional. The algorithm is practically a mechanical toddler throwing a tantrum. It spends billions of dollars of processing power just to figure out how to put a square peg into a completely oversized round hole. And then it aggressively charges you for the absolute privilege of its own spatial incompetence. Due to rigid standardized box sizes and algorithmic miscalculations, e-commerce ships so much empty space that it costs the global economy an estimated $40 billion annually. $40 billion, you are not actually paying for the product inside the box. You are literally paying ocean freight prices to ship premium, bubble-wrapped oxygen across the Pacific. You are personally funding a luxury cross-ocean cruise for a cubic foot of absolute nothingness. And who absorbs that massive, invisible cost? You do. If you run an e-commerce store, your profit margin isn't just shrinking. It is evaporating into the atmosphere above the ocean. You spend months sourcing a product, perfectly pricing it, agonizing over the social media marketing campaign, and then the logistics incinerator turns on. Small businesses operate on razor-thin margins, and raw packaging costs can easily eat up to 10% of your gross revenue in a matter of seconds. But wait, it gets even more absurd. Let's talk about the e-commerce multiplier. Moving a product from a physical retail shelf to a front doorstep is not a logistical miracle. It is a mechanical avalanche of excess material. It requires up to 7 times more corrugated cardboard, 7 times more material per dollar of sales compared to traditional retail. Clicking Buy Now is just pulling the lever on a rigged slot machine that dispenses 7 layers of cardboard trash directly into your living room. Convenience is just a polite corporate buzzword for burying yourself alive in folded paper. And you are paying for the shovel. Offering free shipping on your store to compete with the big players is pure financial suicide. It is the mathematical equivalent of handing the keys to your house to a burglar, actively helping him pack your television into a box, and then enthusiastically thanking him for the exposure. You are completely and utterly compromised. Being your own boss just means you get the exclusive privilege of directly subsidizing a billionaire's paper mill out of your own pocket. You do not control your business. The shifting cost of corrugated medium controls you. Imagine spending 2 years developing a revolutionary consumer gadget. You finally launch it, but you forgot to calculate the absolute volatility of double-walled shipping materials. The cartel decides to raise fluting prices by 12% on a random Tuesday. Your entire profit margin evaporates instantly. Your revolutionary, world-changing gadget is now just an incredibly expensive, stress-inducing hobby. You are bankrupt, and the shadow brokers who sold you the box did not even notice your existence. Trying to negotiate better packaging prices with a supplier when 4 mega companies control the entire market is a joke. It is like playing chess against a supercomputer that also owns the board, the pieces, and the table you are sitting at. You have absolutely zero leverage. And what about the glorious unboxing experience? You spend $3 on a premium, custom-branded box for a $20 product. It is exactly like wrapping a cheap fast food burger in solid gold foil. The customer rips it apart in exactly 3 seconds, throws the gold directly into the garbage, and you are left paying the jeweler's bill. It is an aesthetic hallucination that incinerates 15% of your gross revenue. And then comes the final nail in the coffin. The reverse logistics loop. Up to 30% of e-commerce orders are returned. Your indecision over a sweater size is a one-way ticket into an economic incinerator. It is a double tax on the retailer. They pay to ship it to you, and they pay to watch that highly engineered paper fortress get pulverized on the way back. Your business model is literally funding a trash avalanche. You think you are building wealth. You think you are building an empire. But you are just a temporary custodian of capital, blindly moving money from your customer's wallet directly into the offshore bank accounts of the corrugated monopoly. So your margins are gone, and you are paying to ship oxygen. The algorithm is actively sabotaging your financial future. But at least you are saving the planet by buying those 100% recycled boxes. Right? Wrong. You just stepped completely blindfolded into the deadliest trap of all. The greenwashing meat grinder is waiting for you, and it demands a massive physical sacrifice. I'm going to show you why your recycling bin is a mechanical death spiral. Welcome back. The incinerator is running at full capacity, and your business plan just got tossed inside. You feel so incredibly virtuous, do you not? You buy the brown box with the little green leaf stamped on the side. You think you are a noble protector of the earth, saving the planet one online order at a time. You are living inside a highly engineered corporate hallucination. That green leaf sticker is the mathematical equivalent of putting a tiny adhesive bandage on a gaping chainsaw wound. It is a brilliant, terrifying psychological manipulation. Let us talk about the magnificent lie of 100% recycled cardboard. You imagine a beautiful, infinite circle of life. A box becomes a box forever and ever. Spinning in absolute eco-friendly harmony, here is the brutal, microscopic reality. Wood fibers can only survive the mechanical recycling process 5 to 7 times. After that, they physically disintegrate into completely worthless dust. They lose all structural integrity. Every single time that box is violently spun inside the industrial pulping centrifuge, the fibers are shredded shorter and weaker. Your so-called eco-friendly recycled box is not a savior of the forest. It is a dying, mechanical vampire, desperately begging for an injection of fresh, virgin pine to keep its decaying body from collapsing. The recycling loop is not a circle of life. It is a rapid countdown timer to a total mechanical breakdown. To keep up with your relentless e-commerce addiction, the cartel requires a massive physical sacrifice, and that sacrifice is living wood. It takes roughly 3 tons of trees to produce a single ton of virgin craft paper. Mother Nature has been completely fired and replaced by a strictly managed corporate assembly line. These forests are green deserts. They act as biological factories designed solely to feed the endless appetite of the corrugated shredder. You did not save a forest, you just funded a highly efficient tree plantation. And the manufacturing process, it is an invisible, manufactured drought. Paper manufacturing is one of the most water-intensive industries on the entire planet. We are literally dehydrating the earth and draining massive aquifers. All of this destruction just so your cheap plastic kitchen gadget does not get a tiny scratch while bouncing around inside a delivery truck. The arrogance of this supply chain is absolutely staggering. But the monopoly's greatest achievement is the brilliant way they have tricked you into working for them completely for free. You meticulously wash your jars. You break down your boxes and drag them to the curb. Congratulations on your promotion. You are the cardboard monopoly's absolute favorite $0 employee. You are performing precision manual labor for a $300 billion syndicate that actively despises you. Recycling is not a noble charity. It is a hypervolatile commodity casino. And you are the unpaid dealer. When the global price of old corrugated containers plummets, your local recycling center gets shoved directly into the financial woodchipper. They are just passengers on a roller coaster heading straight into a brick wall, entirely at the mercy of the shadow brokers. The system does not care about the environment. The system only cares about the margin. Slapping a green leaf on an industrial shredder does not make it a garden. Banning plastic bags just feeds the corrugated incinerator, accelerating the demand for virgin wood pulp at a terrifying speed. The physical economy is a closed loop of wealth extraction. They sell you the illusion of sustainability, while actively stripping the earth of resources to manufacture the packaging for your endless consumption. Your eco-guilt is being recycled right alongside that fragile brown box. But absolutely neither of them is actually saving the planet. You are trapped inside a greenwashed meat grinder, and the machine is perfectly calibrated. The noise stops here. The chaotic machinery of the supply chain, the algorithm incinerating your cash. The dying recycled fibers, all of it fades away, leaving you entirely alone with the absolute, naked architecture of the modern economy. You look at this empty box, and you finally understand the terrifying reality. You are not a consumer of goods, you are a blind, willing subsidizer of the global packaging machine. The physical economy is a meticulously designed trap. This trap is engineered to constantly drain your wealth through disposable, impermanent materials. Every time you celebrate a minor victory, every time you click buy now to treat yourself, you are actively participating in your own financial erosion. The free delivery utopia you obsess over is built on an invisible tax. A tax that is quietly, relentlessly draining the world's physical resources and slowly evaporating the very profit margins you sacrifice your youth to build. If you run a business, you are bleeding out daily to pay the shadow cartel. If you are a consumer, you are eagerly handing over your paycheck to acquire a temporary dopamine hit, wrapped tightly in highly engineered corporate garbage. The only way out of the incinerator is to see the invisible tax before it shreds your margins. You must kill your ego entirely, stop paying for the packaging of your life, and start owning the contents. But let me give you the first real weapon, because rage without a tool is just noise. The first step isn't a tactic, It's a psychological amputation. You must decouple your perception of value from the box it arrives in. Your customer does not pay you for the trash they rip open. They pay you for what's inside. Stop obsessing over the unboxing theater and start weaponizing your product's density. That is the only real leverage you have against a $300 billion machine that sells air. So the final question is not whether you are paying for the box. You are paying for it every single day. With every transaction, the real question is far more devastating to your ego and your comfort zone. Are you going to keep building your life, your business, and your fragile illusions inside a system heavily held hostage by the shifting price of folded paper? Are you going to continue trading your finite hours on Earth just to buy yourself a minimum wage job working for the logistics monopoly? If you cannot see the mechanics of the machine, you will forever remain its favorite $0 employee. The choice is yours. The incinerator is waiting. You think a $300 billion cardboard cartel draining your e-commerce margins is the ultimate financial black hole. That is just a paper cut. Wait until you look up at the digital illusion of the cloud and realize it is actually a physical, windowless concrete fortress completely controlled by a ruthless real estate monopoly. I am talking about data center rates, the invisible, merciless landlords of the entire internet. While you are stressing over your household water bill, these massive gray bunkers are actively evaporating millions of gallons of clean drinking water in the middle of dead deserts, just to stop artificial intelligence servers from physically melting down. And the most brilliant part, they have engineered a triple net lease trap so vicious. They legally force trillion-dollar tech empires like Google and Amazon to pay for their own property taxes and maintenance, while locked in a 20-year financial chokehold. Click the video on the screen to see the $100 billion mistake hidden in cloud computing, and how the physical infrastructure of your digital life is drinking your survival resources dry. I will be right here analyzing the blueprints of your digital apocalypse. See you there.